Welcome everyone to the Espeed Contender Series, round 5 here of the championship from California Auto Club Speedway for the California 200 presented by AM's Polishers. It's going to be a great race here tonight underneath the lights. Joining me tonight, Jake Blackall, is going to be Davis Richards in the commentary booth, as well as Hugo Luis working the cameras as always. And practice is run and done. Qualifying's already been run and done, and we're getting ready to set up for the grid. And Davis Richards, your second time running in this series, obviously not last week, but running tonight. And welcome back to running in what is going to be a crazy race underneath the lights here.
Thank you, Jake. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to get back under here in the commentator booth for this series. These guys, they sure know how to race. They got a lot of fast drivers. We're going to see a lot of 3-wide, 4-wide action tonight here at Auto Club.
Yeah, I expect a lot of 3-wide and 4-wide action. There was a couple of penalties from last week's race, but we'll get into them during the race. And right now, under the championship points as well. Obviously, 4 different winners from 4 different starts. They're already all locked in, so it's just making it even harder for these guys to get towards the front and try and just make sure you lock yourself in for the chase. As the checkered flag is out on practice, we'll run through our starting lineup for the Auto Club California 200 here in the Espeed Contender Series. Starting off of pole, he's back up the front, and that is Travis Townsend. Starting alongside him will be Malik Ray in the 20 truck, so it's going to be an interesting front row to see how those two can go. But 2 tenths separated the two on that front row. Doug Lemons is going to line off in P number 3 with Keith Stewart in P number 4. Brent Keith in 4th. In 5th with Sean Powell, 6th. Ed Zaghetti and Brad Neer on row number 4 with Matt Kingsbury and Everett F. Lane going off of row number 5. Paul Bliss, Doyle Lawrence on row 6. Jason Perry and Tim Marlowe, row 7 with row 8. Jason Sizlove and William Toney. Row 9, Bobby Everhart and Sean Molsick with Perry Snelson and Christian Joyce rounding out the top 20. 21st is going to be Doc Stout with Aaron Ames alongside Timothy McQueen and James Hickson alongside him on row number 12. James Torrey and Tyler Hayes on row 13 with Marshall Berry and Ryan Lange rounding out row number 14. Abe Bowden and Sean M. Ryan on row 15. Timmy Logwood Jr. in 31st, Brandon Holder all the way down in P number 32 with Brad Patterson as well rounding out the field. And good thing for Evolution Motorsports, Randy isn't here, so Brad, you'll have a good race coming through the field. But Davis, it's going to be interesting. Travis Townsend on the front row. It's been a while since he's been up there and starting in a good position that he hasn't had to work his way through this field. But he's got Malik Ray on his outside, who is no slouch. So I think, what's your take on that with those two out in front?
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the number 83 of Travis Townsend with such a good starting position, starting in that P1. I might be able to check out on the field tonight now that he doesn't have to deal with traffic. But Malik Ray in that number 20, we see him week in and week out, has an awesome fast truck, so he's definitely going to be a contender. But we have more drivers in the back of the pack too. The number 58 of Edward Zaghetti, he's always fast. Jason Perry in the 88. I mean, really, it's a crapshoot of who's going to win this race, but I can tell you one thing for sure, these fans are about to see some awesome action here tonight.
Yeah, some awesome action underneath the lights for the first time tonight in this series for what is going to be a long season, and it's only round 5 and there's been so much to talk about. We'll get through those penalty results, but as these guys come through turn number 3 and 4, it's going to be Townsend with Malik Ray. Lemons as well. He is going to be a bit of a dark horse, I reckon, tonight. He's had some really poor luck just getting involved in silly incidents, pitch strategy not really going his way, but I reckon he'll be on the fire tonight, especially starting in P number 3. As there's pace car about to head left. Get ready as the green flag will be in the starter's hand. Holding him for a long time. Green flag in the air, and we're away here for the California 200% by AM's Polishers. And a good start there by Malik Ray on that outside as well, Davis. He was able to get pretty much the jump, but then Travis Townsend, the secondary part of his start, was much better, able to keep it on his inside through 1 and 2.
See right there, the number 70 of Doug Lemons on that low side. He's waiting for these drivers to make a move right in front of him, see if he can pounce on him. That number 20 of Malik Ray, he goes low, he tucks to the behind the number 83 of Travis Townsend. The 83 tries to block him, and now the 20 is on his outside as they're heading into 3 and 4.
good start from Malik Ray. Some aggressive driving expect. They're going to be pretty much flat out for most of this run as Lemons pushes the turning. I don't know whether he made contact or the 20 just wasn't expecting the 70 to be there, but he was there and he made the move, and that's already given a couple of truck races. These guys fan out 3 wide already for nearly P number 3, P4, P5, and everyone else is Kingsbury on the inside already working past Ed Zaghetti, trying to make moves inside the top 5.
Yeah, these drivers are going to have to be careful, especially in the back of the pack. I've been seeing some 3 wide action right there, seeing them cut across each other's nose. This is a long race we have ahead of us, and these drivers have to be super careful, because if you want to win this race, you're going to have a truck in one piece to get it. But you look at that number 20 Malik Ray. He's on that high side. Looks like he's in a little bit of a wiggle right there with that number 32 of Brent Keith being able to take that position. Now the 20 Malik Ray is going to have to battle the number 16, or I'm sorry, that's the number 21 of Matt Kingsbury.
Yeah, Kingsbury's come out of nowhere on these restarts. Brent Keith and the 20 of Malik Ray still side by side now going into 1. Malik Ray moved to the inside. He's going to try and get this run through this corner, but the nature of this track, the running at 3 wide again as Kingsbury to the inside. This is going to be an interesting one going into 3 and 4. I don't think any of them want to give up this position too easily. It's only lap 3 of 100, boys, as they get tight into 3 and 4. Nearly contact, but Kingsbury comes out of nowhere and snatches P3 away from both of them. Now Braden is going to be in this one. It's chaos already starting in this one, Davis.
It is. That number 20 Malik Ray's being very aggressive, but we just seen him keep dropping position after position, and we're already at lap number 4, and they got to be really careful. As we saw just earlier, they almost made contact. I thought they did. I thought for sure both of those drivers were going to be sent into the outside wall.
Yeah, I definitely thought the same, although there may have been a big accident early on, but so far we are still clean and green in this one. And at the moment, the 88 a little bit further back in the pack. Jason Perry's moved himself inside the top 10. He's got Everett F. Lane on his inside Las Vegas winner. He's going to try and make that move coming off turn number 4. Here comes Christian Joyce with a little bit of a look down into turn to the front stretch. He had a look to maybe dive it down to the inside to make it 3 wide. Thought better, is just going to give Everett F. Lane a bit of a shove into turn number 1. Puts himself alongside Jason Perry, trying to make that move and get that job done to move himself just on the outside of the top 10, but out in front. Doug Lemons is all over the back of Travis Townsend. I thought he might have had a look going down this backstretch. He keeps poking the nose out through this bumpy back straightaway, Davis, but can't do anything about it right now. That 83 is on rails.
He is, and that's another thing these drivers have to take into account. This track is very bumpy and very old, and what I'm noticing right now so far with this track being so green, that those drivers are really getting tight off of the corners. Now we're going to have to see how that translates later into night and if it starts to loosen up, but these drivers are having a really tough time and having to watch from shoving into that outside wall on exits. But right now we're seeing that number 7, you have Doug Lemons, like he said, all over the back end of the 83 of Travis Townsend. And have to see if he's going to make a move or if he's just going to ride behind him, make that number 83 truck use up his tires, and then make his move later on into the run.
It looks like he's trying to use up more than that 83's tires right now. He is right on that rear tailgate trying to get everything out of that little bit of a gap. He's nearly pushing him, but just can't get that close to get him. So he's just going to sit in behind again another lap as Kingsbury is slowly reeling the two of them in. 40.17 from Kingsbury last time round compared to a 40.2 from both leaders. So Kingsbury's definitely got the pace to try and make this one a little bit of an interesting battle out in front, and they've sort of checked out 1 second back to Malik Ray, who is sitting in P number 4 at the moment, and 3 wide action back in the pack. That's actually Keith Stewart on that outside, the 16 truck with the 28 of Marlowe. Christian Joyce in this one as well, through down into 3 and 4. 3 wide action behind them as well again, so 3 wide everywhere, Davis, and they're not coming down. We haven't even hit 10% yet in this race. Still lap 7 of 100. These guys fighting really hard to try and make up some track position.
Yeah, these drivers are being really aggressive, but we haven't had a caution yet, so these drivers are really doing a great job at keeping it clean. And right now we've got a battle for the lead. That number 70 has just passed the number 83 of Travis Townsend. That's the number 70 of Doug Lemons. And I was watching that battle earlier, and like you were noting off the times, we were watching that 21 of Matt Kingsbury. He was catching those two drivers, so that what tells me is that the number 70 of Doug Lemons was just holding back and making his move, and that 83 of Travis Townsend was holding him back just a little bit.
Yeah, he was waiting, and I think he realised that as soon as that 21 of Kingsbury started to close down that gap, he didn't want to be there no more. He's moved out, got that lead, and he's now going to try and see if he can stretch away, because as soon as Kingsbury started to close up, he didn't waste any time. He had time before, but he didn't as soon as that 21 got in his rear vision mirror. So see what Matt Kingsbury can do. These guys still have roughly over 1.5 seconds now over Sean Powell. Malik Ray slowly starting to fall to the wayside. He's now got Brent Keith looking to go to his inside down this back straightaway, but a couple of truck lanes back, not able to do anything about it. So those two are going to be in a little bit of a battle now, but Malik hasn't got the race pace that I thought he had. He's shown some good race pace recently, but not able to get anything out of this truck tonight. Then behind them, it's just the train that follows behind Paul Bliss, Ed Zaghetti, Brad Neer. They're the three leading trucks of this battle, and at the moment behind them, Christian Joyce side by side with Tim Marlowe, which has been the same for the past couple of laps. The 28 truck still on that inside, the 36 Davis, and he can't get to him yet to try and get that position away coming off of 2.
Yeah, be very aggressive right there. And you're watching that number 24 of Everett Lane. He gets right up on that outside wall, that number 88 machine of Jason Perry. He's going to try to take that position. He is going to clear him going into the corner. Watching these drivers right now, and they're really using that low line. Usually during the daytime of this track, that you want to be in that about the middle line. It's a lot like Michigan, but here with the cool night temperatures, they're able to get as much grip as they can, and it's really making them really fast around this 2-mile circuit.
Yeah, it's the track temp is actually super cool as well. Even though it's underneath the lights, the track is 65 degrees Fahrenheit, same as the ambient. So it is definitely cool out there for these guys, and that's why the pace is just so electric, and they're able to actually put the trucks where they want to. Brad Neer having a couple of looks down the backstretch on Christian Joyce as well back in this battle pack, still unable to do anything about it. Out in front though, Lemons and Townsend side by side, and they're going to go across the stripe pretty much dead even. Travis Townsend just got that one, and Lemons actually led him through Davis, and that's an interesting call I think from Lemons. I think he had the overall pace to maybe stay out in front, but maybe Travis has found something in his little truck that he likes in this sort of phase of the run.
This being an open setup too, these drivers, what we're seeing, like Malik Ray being fallen back in through the field, and these drivers coming in hot towards the middle of the run. Their setups might be more geared towards a longer run style race, because I think we're going to see that tonight. I don't think we're going to see very many cautions, so you want to have your truck really set up for that longer run and be able to utilize as less tire wear as possible throughout the course of this green flag run.
Yeah, and I think that's what Townsend is just trying to figure out at the moment. Just rolled out a little bit. He doesn't need to push this early on, and I don't think either three of these guys need to. As we look further back in this pack, still once again Neer having a good old battle. This is the 71 of Everhart to his inside. He should be able to clear him coming off of turn 2 behind them. That's William Tony. Everett F. Lane's in that battle as well. Looks like he just got passed by Timothy McQueen in the 33, but still side by side in front of them. The 71 and the 9 going into turn number 3, and the 71 of Everhart is going to prevail and take that position away. And good run from Everhart so far, moving himself inside the top 13 at the moment, and Brad Neer doesn't want to give that position up that quite easily. He's going to try and look for that outside line. All these multiple grooves, Davis, is actually allowing for this racing, but even that track, like we're saying, that cool track temp's just allowing them as the 85 around. That is Paul Bliss. Kisses the outside wall. A lot of damage to the rear end of that truck. Yellow is out. First caution of the night. Going to get a replay of that one and figure out where that one went wrong. Looks like the 88, maybe a little bit of contact. It was a little bit of contact going into one. Sent the 85 around. So the 88, 85 getting together. And single car race. We're lucky for that, Davis, because there was a lot of cars around that position. But just a little bit of a bump from the 88, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, not sure right there if the 88 of Jason Perry, if he just wasn't expecting that number 85 of Paul Bliss to check up that much going into the corner and then just got into the rear of him, or maybe if there was a bit of a bumping and running going on earlier in that run. But definitely a heartbreaker nonetheless for that number 85 machine, because that's more than likely going to end his night.
Yeah, that's, even though it's a little bit of contact to that outside wall, a lot of damage here, and it's so aero-dependent racetrack, that is going to hurt him, especially when these guys are running flat out pretty much the entire way around this racetrack tonight. So And also he just dropped pretty much from inside the top 10 to dead last because of that incident. So it just goes to show that everyone is so tightly knit together. He pretty much lost all that track position. Gonna have to try and see what he can salvage from this one. But we're talking about no cautions. We got our first caution. Now pit stop cycle coming out. It's pretty much 4 tires of gas. I wouldn't see anyone taking 2 unless someone wants to risk it.
Yeah, definitely too early to take 2 tires, and yeah, we were just talking about it. This race gonna go green for a lot of the way, but we got the broadcaster's curse, and you see what happens when we start bringing it up. But we've got the drivers right now going down pit road. I do believe everyone's gonna take 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. Not gonna have any gamblers. It's really early in this race, and these tires are probably about, I'd guess, about 70 or 80%. Not that much. I'd say probably about 90% or so wear on them after this 14-lap run.
Yeah, so they should have still a little bit in it, but we'll see what they do. Everyone looks clean in their box up the front, which is all. As I say that, Brent Keith has rolled his box. He was running inside that top 10 in P number 6. So that is going to be a big mistake from him. Still people learning. Over at F Lane as well, Las Vegas winner, looks like he's having troubles getting in the box, but coming off of pit road, Townsend looks like he gets that win and gets that one done. It looks like Lemons beat Kingsbury off as well. Would have been close between those two. So Travis Townsend first off of pit road, and going to make for an interesting restart now because Lemons is alongside him, Davis, and that's going to make for an interesting one. He had to work his way past Malik Ray early on to get up to Travis Townsend, who sort of stretched his legs straight away, but now Lemons can try and see what he can do on that outside.
He can. I think it's going to be really interesting too, this being our first pit stops and this being open setups as well. These drivers are able to make minor adjustments to the car and adjust them to how they see fit. So maybe these drivers like the number 20 Malik Ray were really able to dial something in and test it out here to see if he's able to make it through the field on this next green flag run.
Yeah, that's going to be the big truck that we're going to have to watch for this restart, that 20 truck. See what changes he can make under that first round of pit stops. See if he can try and get some race pace into that truck, because he's had a lot of it recently. Obviously, he's just been super dominant, being able to have the pace in that truck to put it wherever he wants to, and comes here and just doesn't look like he has the pace of Townsend, Lemons and Kingsbury out in front. Lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to double them up straight away and we're going to waste no time here. Townsend and Lemons going to roll off row 1. Kingsbury and Sean Powell, who's sneakily proved himself up into the top 5. Malik Ray, Tim Marlowe for row number 3. Christian Joyce, Suggetti, Jason Perry and Doyle Lawrence rounding out the top 10. And what's your sort of phase? What's your sort of predictions after seeing that first sort of run already, Davis? What do you think is going to happen in terms of overall car speed in this second run?
I think we're going to really see a lot of these drivers start to take it easy on that first of that run, and then once we get to the middle, they're really going to start throwing it on them. But if I've got that lead, like the number 83 of Travis Townsend, especially within those first 2 laps, I'm going to be really pushing it really hard to grab that lead and try to check out a little bit and then start to conserve tire wear.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of those things that these 3 are going to have to do, because they're so far out in front. They could have actually just sat back a little bit and tried to keep the truck underneath them a little bit more, but we'll see what race pace they're able to bring out in this run. Sean Powell now going to see if he can try and stick with them and see what he's got in that 41 truck. He's won already a race this season, but funny, the 3 in front haven't as of yet, so that'll be interesting to see what they do. Pace car peels off left, getting ready for the restart. Townsend in control, and he is gone. Green flag in the air, and we are back underway for the first restart. A little bit of a bubble in the back of the pack. Looks like there may have been a little bit of a check up, a couple of trucks just fanning out. Looks like there's no incident back there though. But Townsend has checked out. He is gone. He's pulled a good 5 truck lengths on these 2 out in front. But Kingsbury and Malik Ray pushing on that inside line. Good run through 1 and 2, and they're going to try and close that gap straight away.
Malik Ray in that number 20, he's already made it up to the 3rd position. He's picked up 2 spots since that restart. That number 41, that's going to be Sean Powell right underneath the 70 of Doug Lemons. Doug Lemons really got the short end of the stick on that restart, falling several positions. He's trying to fight for his life on that outside lane, trying to get everything he can coming out of turn 4 right here as they're across the tri-oval.
He tried to get the jump on Travis Townsend, he missed it, and now he's fallen back multiple positions. Kingsbury having a look on Travis Townsend already to try and make some moves in that 21 truck. behind him. Malik Ray's still there as a watching brief, and Sean Powell still side by side with Doug Lemons coming off of turn number 2. Can't get that position as of yet. He's still there. Everyone else pretty calm behind, single file, surprisingly, for most of the way through this field. It's just this battle with the 41 and the 70 as they are still side by side in the 3 and 4. Tim Barlow might be able to close up that gap, stick his nose to the inside of the 70 of Lemons, but he's just not close enough to be able to do so. But Powell looks like he's got that job done on the 70. They're going to try and go 3 wide. Nope, they're going to sit back in. Does Doug Lemons instead of the 20, but out in front, Kingsbury and Townsend side by side into turn number 1.
Matt Kingsbury, that number 21 truck right below the number 83 coming out of turn 2. Is he going to be able to clear him? I don't think he is. I think that number 83 of Travis Townsend is going to be able to get the run coming into 3 and 4. Going to be interesting to see right now if the 21 of Matt Kingsbury could really make that bottom line stick and do everything he can. He is going to be able to clear him. That's going to put the 21 of Matt Kingsbury in that P1 position. But wait a minute, the number 83 of Travis Townsend, he's battling back on that low side. He said, hey, wait a minute, it might be lap 20, but I'm coming here to run, and I want that lead now.
He wanted that lead back straight away. Did the switchback coming off of turn number 4, moved it to that inside, got the job done again. Kingsbury's come from 9. Townsend's got up front and he stayed there from pole, and now everyone wants to have first position away. Here comes Kingsbury again with Sean Powell on the attack. In P number 3, going to give him a little bit of a push down the back stretch just to see these cars bump and weave over all those bumps, and it's just trying to see whether they can keep those trucks underneath them because they are running so fast out here underneath the lights, and Kingsbury gets that job done. Now Sean Powell takes second away. I think Powell's sort of the dark horse in this one, Davis. He's got a lot of pace in that truck. He's able to put it where he wants to in sort of this early phase of the run. Maybe as it gets later in the stick, he doesn't have as quick a truck underneath him, but he's going to go for the race lead now through 1 and 2 to the inside of Kingsbury, the 41 and the 21 side by side, and Travis Townsend has nowhere to go as they block the backstretch. Still side by side and can't do anything about it at the moment. And Kingsbury looks to the outside. Townsend on that inside can't do anything about it in terms of trying to make a move behind them. In P number 3, Sean Powell still running side by side behind him. Malik Ray is having a look to see if he can try and get the 3rd spot away from Travis Townsend, but still side by side between the leading 2. And behind everyone else is a watching brief and nothing they can do about it. Davis, it's coming down to the wire out in front. Lemons now looking to the inside of Malik. Ray can't do anything about it. Now Townsend's actually helping Kingsbury get to the front. He just wants to get those 2 clear to see if he can make up any spots.
Yes, and that number 83 machine bump drafting on the 21 of Kingsbury. Look at that 41 of Sean Powell really utilizing that low line, and that's what I'm watching here right now. It looks like whatever driver has that lower line is definitely the fast line around this track because they are able to get the advantage. The 83 can get a run off of that outside and clear the 41 and get on that inside. I think he'll be able to have enough head of steam to get underneath the 21 of Matt Kingsbury, but he's just not able to. That 41 of Sean Powell is really fighting hard, and right behind him they are almost 3 wide. That's going to be the number 20 of Malik Ray, the number 70 of Doug Lemons, and the 28 of Tim Merlot. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sure someone will correct me later. But man, we've got battles all over this track.
Yeah, battles everywhere, and sorry for all the guys down in the back of the paddock, but this lead battle is definitely heating up. There's multiple trucks in this one that has a shot at taking this away tonight, and Kingsbury now out in front. Townsend second, Powell in third, Malik Ray still side by side with Doug Lemons, but I was just having a look further back in the pack. Well, I can't really say further back in the pack. P number 8, that number 5 truck. Oh, as I have a look, Malik Ray nearly in the fence off of 2, but behind him, Brandon Holder has worked his way from 32nd to P number 8. This man is on a charge. We know how quick he can be. He's won multiple races in this championship. Could have come away with the championship last season, and now he is fighting his way back from 32nd on the grid, and here he comes, and Brandon Holder's going to be with this train as well out in front. That's still going on as Malik Ray tries to recover from nearly hitting the fence off of turn 2. Christian Joyce gets around him, and that's actually going to be Brandon Holder's new target out there on the racetrack. It's going to be that number 20 Kingsbury out in front. Looks like Powell might be able to have a look to the inside. No, he can't. So Townsend now going to try and get a run on Kingsbury himself for this race lead. not able to do so, rolls out of it. Let Sean Powell get back in this one. Behind, it looks like Braden Holder getting that position on Malik Ray, and he does. Looks like he's clear. He is. So Malik Ray dropping back into P number 8, and this is a disaster run for him right now, as this battle for the lead, though, it is on. And it is going to be crazy in this sort of second run. I can't believe these guys are running this close this early on in this race. Still only lap 27, still 73 laps to go. And these 4 guys out in front. Tim Marlowe's actually starting to stretch a little bit away from Christian Joyce. Might have lost that little bit of a toe right now in this top 5, but they will close that down because Brandon Holder is coming to try and close down among the top 5. And Davis, it's sort of calmed down a little bit out in front, but these guys are still fighting as hard as they can to try and get that position, as Townsend now looks to the high side.
Yeah, that front pack has really gotten single filed, and they're just minding their P's and Q's right now. But another driver want to comment on that 20 Billy Gray. He is having tons of trouble with that machine, all the way back in the 8th position. At the front of that restart, was able to get up to the 3rd position. I thought he had something, made a few adjustments that were going to be able to really help him, but it just went from bad to worse, and he is just having all sorts of trouble. But right now, we've got a battle for that 6th position. That's going to be the number 36 of Christian Joyce and the number 5 of Brandon Holder. You touched on it earlier. Brandon Holder starting in that 32nd position. Now he's just cleared his way. He's made his way to the 6th spot. This guy has a lot of speed, and if he can get up there to the front, if we get another caution here, he's going to be able to be in that front pack, and these leaders better watch out because he's got some speed into that machine, and he did not come to play.
Yeah, they're gonna realize that a little bit later on when they see that 5 on that relative going. Where did he come from? Because he started a long way in this pack. As the 83 has a look down that back stretch, just doesn't have that overall speed to get Kingsbury, or he's just biding his time. But he's got those 2 trucks that hungry behind him. Here he goes. He looks to the inside coming down the front stretch. That's the 83 of Travis Townsend. Going to ride on board with him going through the stripe, and that's going to be a good job to see if he can get that one done. Sean Powell alongside him as well, and he's going to get that one done. They're still side by side. You can see him breathing on that wheel as that outside is Kingsbury still on that high side. Powell, as there is a caution on the racetrack as these 2 were starting to fight out in front. Caution out there on the racetrack. Going to see which one this is, as there is a truck in the fence coming off turn number 1. Let's see which that one is. It's Brad Neer in the 9 truck. So issues for Brad, and same sort of incident as before. He got tapped from the 04 going into 1 and 2. That was Timmy Logwood, Sean M. Ryan, sorry, that is Timmy Logwood Jr.'s in the 4. Sean M. Ryan in the 04, and he tried to straighten him up, but just sent him back in the fence, did Sean Ryan. So a little bit of an error there again, Davis, and it's the second time tonight we've seen that similar incident. Just something about going to turn 1 and 2, and depending on different speeds and how they're actually entering that corner, it's causing a little bit of drama.
It is in that 9 truck of Brad Neer. We've seen a lot of speed from earlier on in the race, and it looks like almost a carbon copy of that accident we seen earlier tonight. But it just looks like he checked up into the corner, and the 04 just wasn't expecting it and got into him and sent that 9 in the fence. So definitely something to pay attention, and it happened at about the same time as well, with about 15 laps on that run.
Yeah, it's happening around the same window, so maybe as people's tyres are starting to go away, as the trucks are starting to get a little bit tight as the run goes on for some of them tonight, it just looks like that's sort of where that window of opportunity or mistakes are coming, when they're just starting to get a little bit of lift into turn number 1. But now Kingsbury's going to lead them onto pit road. Townsend, I thought he would have been just in front, but obviously not. The scoring charts put him down in P number 2, Sean Powell in 3rd, and this is what we were just talking about, weren't we, Davis, with Brandon Holder. He's obviously got one of the early pit windows as he dives to his pit box, but this is going to be good for him. He's bunched the pack back up. He's worked his way from 32nd to 6th. Now he can try and see what he can do.
So you just talked about a caution again, and here we go. They're under caution. So the broadcaster's work curse starting to have a play in tonight's action. But yeah, with Brandon Holder being able to get up with those leaders, definitely going to be interesting to see if he's got something for Kingsbury and Townsend, and that 41 of Sean Powell. I'm really counting on him to be a big impact for tonight's race. He has a lot of speed in that machine, and I think he can get it done tonight.
Yeah, he definitely can. As James Torres rolled through the box, so he will actually win the race off pit road, but didn't actually get any service that time round. So it'll be Travis Townsend. He's going to beat Kingsbury off, and that's a little bit of frustration, I reckon, from Kingsbury. Like, you get on the pit road first. Obviously, you don't have that first pit box stall, but once again, Townsend still manages to beat you off pit road, and you've got to do it all over again.
As a driver, it's very frustrating, especially to lose that lead on pit road. So you're going to have to see if he's able to overcome it on that outside line. I'm not sure if that number 2 truck, if he will decide to go back down pit road to get 4 fresh tires. Hopefully if he does. And we see a little bit of accident there. That's going to be the number between the number 41 and Sean Powell, the number 21 of Matt Kingsbury.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there. Obviously, Sean Powell wasn't expecting that much of a checkup from Kingsbury. Yeah, it just sort of was a little bit of a check, a little bit of damage as well to both of those race trucks. So 2 of these leading half a dozen trucks that were out there now got a little bit of front end and rear end damage. So that's going to make for an interesting run. James Torrey does not come down pit road. He's actually going to stay out. Lights are still on the pace car, so they're going to go around another time before we double them up and get them set. But Townsend, Kingsbury, Powell, and Kingsbury now with damage, so let's see how much that's going to affect. It shouldn't affect it that much, Davis. It doesn't look like that much contact, but it was enough to bend the back of Kingsbury's truck just a little bit and put a little bit of a dent in the nose of that 41 truck.
Yeah, and I think it's going to affect the one of Sean Powell even more, having that front end damage. I don't think it'll affect the 21 of Matt Kingsbury at all. But there again, I was talking about the 41, saying, hey, he might wind it up in victory lane, and then we see that accident right there under caution. So I'm just going to stop complimenting and talking about cautions for this entire race, because it's obviously not working out. But that 41 truck, I'd be really worried at that front end damage, because any amount of front end damage on these machines is not good at all.
Yeah, any front end damage can ultimately hurt the way that truck's gonna feel, especially going into the corners here wide open. So see how that one plays out. Brendan Holder obviously keeps his position up in the top 6 and gonna see what he can do on that front. But now looking further through the field and having a look back, it doesn't matter as well whether you curse any of them, as Tory actually now finally comes down pit road, because Brad Patterson's still out there. He hasn't had any incidents up to P number 23. He started dead last in the field in P number 33. So good job from him to make his way up as we double them up, get ready for this restart. And right now Townsend and Kingsbury going to go off of row 1 with Powell and Lemons, and those 2 trucks, the 41 and the 21, going to have to watch to see how their damage goes. And Davis, I think the one to watch in this run is going to be that 5 of Brendan Holder.
It is. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that machine. He was able to make his way up from the 32nd position. So, hey, we know he's got a bad, fast truck, but what does he have for these leaders? Is he going to bide his time, be really cautious getting around him, or is he just going to send it in there and hope for the best? But, hey, I'm really excited to watch it and see how it pans out here.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones. As Malik Ray as well just realised as I was looking through the numbers of where everyone was restarting, he's down in P number 10 at the moment, lining up alongside Ed Zaghetti. So a poor little pit stop window there from the 20 of Malik Ray, maybe trying to throw some adjustments at this truck. I think that's what he needs to do. Throw the spanner, throw the kitchen sink, throw everything at it. He needs to try and find a little bit more race pace in that 20 truck as we get ready for a restart through 3 and 4. And let's see what Townsend can do. Let's see if Kingsbury can get the jump on him this time. Doug Lemons wasn't able to do as well last time, pushed himself back to P number 5 as that pace car is about to turn left here at Auto Club. And still not even halfway, 66 laps to go when they cross the stripe. Townsend in control and green flag, and he is away. He has got a good jump there from Kingsbury, but a better restart from that outside row. Able to stick quite closely to that 83 as the 41 is going to try and have a look to the inside into 1 and 2, Davis.
He is, as you see that number 21 of Kingsbury. He tries to get down right in front of the 41 of Sean Powell, but just wasn't able to clear him enough. And now that 41 of Powell, is he going to be able to clear him? I think he is going to be able to clear him coming into 3 and 4, but that 21 is going to keep utilizing that high line. He's going to lose some going into the corner, but he's going to be able to gain that momentum coming across the corner and coming through the tri-oval. Tries to go down again, but that 70 of Doug Lemons is right there below him.
Kingsbury can't get in line as Sean Powell going straight for the race lead. Has a look. Townsend goes to block that one. Lemons is trying to have a look on Kingsbury, still side by side with those two, as Powell looking to the outside now, going into 1 and 2 for P number 1. Can't do anything about it out there, and that may have actually opened the door for Lemons. It was a poor move. He should have come back and dropped back down in line behind the 83 of Townsend, but that's opened the door for Doug Lemons, and here comes Brandon Holder in that 5. He's on the inside of Matt Kingsbury. Should be able to try and get this one through 3 and 4, but he's got Doug Lemons in his wheel tracks right in front of him, so can't do anything about that as he gets loose through 3 and 4. And as I say it around, does he save it? I think he does. He's just going to cut through the grass. Hopefully he doesn't get any damage, but all that work from Brandon Holder, and he's going to drop to well outside the top 10, maybe even the top 20 at this stage. But a good save, a good hold, because that could have been in the outside wall if he didn't get that one.
Yeah, it could have. What an awesome save he did right there. Unfortunately, that's going to send him back to the pack, and he's going to have to climb his way back up there. But wow, what an awesome save he was able to do there to keep it out of that inside wall and also keep it out of pit lane to avoid a penalty. But right now, we've got a battle for the lead. That's going to be the number 83 of Townsend and Lemons. Lemons is going to clear him. The 83 right up against that wall. Now the 21 of Kingsbury, he wants a part of it too. He's right on that quarter panel of the 83. Is he going to be able to get beside him going into the corner? No, he's not. He's going to check up just a little and set up his run for the exit.
He's trying to set him up right now. Lemons has come out of nowhere in that run. We're talking about Sean Powell maybe having a look, same with Kingsbury. Now Lemons has decided he wants to lead this one and try and check out in front. I'll take the blame, Brandon, so if you want to come and complain to me, it's okay. You don't have to complain to Randy. It was my fault this week. Shouldn't have talked you up so much coming from 32nd up inside that top 5, but now Townsend going to see what he can do to try and close that gap to Lemons. He's already pulled out a truck lane on that 83, and it's a good little jump there from Lemons to try and clear himself for a lap, but here comes that toe down the front stretch. Just brings the rest of the field all back into this one, and he's trying to see what they can do coming into 1 and 2 this time round as Townsend goes the ultra high line as Kingsbury looks to his inside. He might be able to get this one done, and they're going to be side by side off the corner, but that run that Townsend can have, it's going to bring him still alongside him and not going to help with that 21 trying to get cleared down Davis into turn number 3.
Side by side through the corner. That's 21 of the 83 machine. 21 started to get a little loose, but he was able to correct it. Doesn't look like that damage on the 21 or the 41 is affecting them at all, as they're at full force right now. The 83 of Townsend still utilizing that high line. Wonder if he's got some ulterior motives, saving those tires just a little bit, but he's falling back through the pack. So going to have to keep an eye out to see later in the run if he's able to gain some more speed and momentum. But right now, we see the number 83 machine of Townsend and the 41 of Powell battling side by side going through the corner. Is the 41 going to be able to clear him? I don't think he is. They're still side by side and he can't get a break out of him.
Still can't get the position done. It's the 83 Townsend. He's not one of those ones that's just going to let up behind Tim Marlowe and Malik Ray have been side by side for the past couple of laps, but this battle is still going on between Powell and Townsend, and Powell just can't get the job done. It's still side by side as Kingsbury's closed down the gap to Doug Lemons out in front. So it's this 4-car train at the moment trying to battle for the race lead as they get right up against that wall. It looks like a couple of trucks out in front just pushing it really hard down the pack. They're pushing. I saw a couple of trucks cutting each other off, but no incident back there as Powell and Townsend still side by side through 3 and 4, and no one is going to give up for this P number 3. I think they might have dropped in behind each other right now. Davis is the 83 of Townsend. Gets a little bit loose up against that wall, nearly collected it. And he's now going to have to see whether he's just going to drop in behind Sean Powell and now try and work together to try and catch those two out in front, because they've sort of checked out a little bit.
They have checked out a lot. Most of this field is side by side, but right now the closest battle on the track right now, he has is between the 36 of Christian Joyce and the 87 of William Toney, as they were side by side, but now that number 87 is going to tuck in right behind them. But for the most part, all these drivers are single file. I think they've seen some earlier cautions in this race, and they were noting what not to do, and they just want to take it easy. We're not even halfway through this thing yet, so I'm going to have to save their truck and see if they have anything for the end of this race.
Yeah, still not even halfway, still looking to try and wind some of these laps down. 58 laps to go, as the guys did come across the stripe last time round. So having a look back in the pack, and this is Brad Patterson right now coming through 1 and 2, and he's got behind him Perry Snelson in that 6 truck, sort of trying to see if he can make a move. He is going to move to that inside, going to just have his nose there to try and make a move coming into 3 and 4, and going to go side by side. Turn number 3 is behind them again, Brandon Holder making up some room as Perry Snelson gets that job done on Brad Patterson. But next on Brad Patterson's not wanting to be in front of is right now Brandon Holder, who will be a little bit red-missed after making that mistake. It's you worked so hard to get all the way up to where he is, and now it's looking to the outside of Patterson and trying to see if he can get that job done around the outside, and he does that. A good move from Brandon Holder, and that just goes to show the pace in that truck. Just did it easily around the outside of Davis.
He did. He made that look really easy, and he's got that machine gunning, and he wants to go to the front on it. He's going to have quite a bit of tire wear from spinning out right there, but shouldn't hurt him too much. I think we're really going to see him after we get a caution or a green flag pit stop, and he's able to put 4 fresh tires on that machine. But he's already made his way up to that 22nd position. So definitely, I'm sorry, 21st position. So he's definitely got a lot of speed in it, and definitely going to have to be someone to watch, because he's going to be driving with a vengeance now to try to get back up there and show what he's got.
Yeah, so now looking at in front of him as well, he's got this battle pack that he's going to try and work his way through. That's Wilby Everhart, Ryan Mange. Right now they're going hard at it for this P at number 18 at the moment, as Perry Snelson finds his way back into this battle side by side with the 31 of Ryan Lange, and he's going to see if he can get that one done. He can, and here comes the 5 of Brandon Holder. He's going to look to the inside of that 31 as well, as Perry uses all the track, maybe a little bit more than what he really wanted to, up near the fence. And here comes the 5 truck, Brandon Holder looking to the inside, gets that one. He may even look to try and get Perry Snelson in his move into turn number 1 as well. He doesn't want to re-quarter tap that 6 around like we've seen all night long for the first 2 cautions of the night. But here comes Brandon Holder, going to try and clear him down the back stretch, but still side by side at the moment. Davis, and nothing Brandon can really do until he gets to turn number 3.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to clear him coming right here into the corner. If you're watching him right now, and he is going to be able to clear him right there. And like you mentioned, he's got to be careful. He has a lot more speed than these drivers in the back of the field, and we've seen it earlier. Drivers getting a lot of momentum on the entry of 1 and 2 and sending the driver in front of him around, so that's something that he's going to have to watch out for.
Something he's definitely going to have to watch out for as he makes his way back through the field. But a change for P number 2, Kingsbury, has just been passed by Sean Powell through 1 and 2 this time by, and I think Sean Powell wants to go because Lemons is out to roughly a 7/10 of a second lead now. So that's 7 he's trying to check out a little bit, Davis, and we thought it could have been the 83 or the 21 that might have been checking out, but Lemons is gone, and he's really shown this pace in this 3rd phase of the race.
He has, and Lemons, he had a good finish in the last race I commentated for at Las Vegas, so he's obviously got a lot of speed, but I think he's got that machine really tuned in and ready to go tonight here at Auto Club. But the battle right now is in that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. They're single file, nose to tail right now, with the 41 leading the charge. The 83 of Travis Townsend, seen him lead a lot of laps earlier and got that pole. He's back there biding his time, trying to make his move, see if he's got enough speed to get up there. But this right here, I think as I say that, you see the 21 start to look high, just not able to get as much momentum as he wants to off the corner.
Yeah, I think the 83 of Townsend was following him through too, because he had to check up as well. He's going to actually go to that high side Kingsbury. He's going to roll out of it, let that 83 go and try and see what he can do to the 41 of Sean Powell. That's an interesting move there from Kingsbury. He's got the pace to be able to do so and try and hold his own up there, but I think he just wants to see what Townsend's got, and they've now got a little bit of a gap between all those guys as we're going to look further back in the pack as there's a good little battle pack going on just outside P number 10. This is the 87 of William Tony, Christian Joyce as well, with Doyle Lawrence just getting that position, gets in clear going into turn number 3, and it looks like Christian Joyce was running inside that top 6 in that second stint there. Davis dropped a little bit off the pace in his run, but he might be able to have a run going into 1 and 2 this time.
I think you're right there, but another driver to watch too. That Ray sitting in the 6th position, hasn't fallen back earlier like we've seen him do on these initial restarts. So maybe he's able to make some changes down pit road and try to get that truck dialed in. If he wants to get on that checkered flag, I think he's going to have a lot more work to do, but he's holding his own right here in the 6th position.
Yeah, he's definitely holding his own better now. He's trying to see if he can stick with these guys out in front. Lemons has just got a different pace at the moment. He sort of turned it up a little bit out in front. That sort of helped in. Sort of stretch away a little bit more than I thought last time round. Still running pretty even with everyone else behind, but it's just that pace, Davis, that he's been able to pull out in this stint. That's just given him a good sizable gap at the moment. Even having a look through this field now as everyone's pretty much single file. No one's really trying anything. Doyle Lawrence is trying to move himself into the top 10 now, trying to fight with Ed Zaghetti alongside them, and he's going to make that move to the inside. He's going to get that one done. Zaghetti goes really high in the middle of that corner, and I'm surprised by that. He's going to let Christian Joyce through as well, so Zaghetti losing 2 spots. Zaghetti won't be happy about that. He would have been liked to have just been sitting inside that top 10. Everywhere else pretty much single file right now. It's a bit of a lull moment in this race, Davis. I think everyone's just trying to sort out getting themselves to the window. Don't think they can make it. Everyone's going to have to stop one more time as actually Malik Ray moves into P number 5 around the outside of Tim Marlowe coming off the turn number 2, and that's going to give him another truck, well, 1 truck less to fight against as he tries to move himself up to Matt Kingsbury.
Yeah, next victim is going to be that 21 of Matt Kingsbury. So we're going to have to see if Malik Ray is able to get him down, hunt him down, and make that position to get in that 4th spot. Showing a lot more speed like we talked about earlier. So I think he's really done something to that truck, and he's really liking the way it feels on these longer runs. You know, maybe he did have that truck set up for the longer run. This is the longest run we've seen so far. Earlier we'd only seen about a 15-lap run, so I think we're really starting to see his truck come into play. But right now you've got Doug Lemons still out in front, got about a 7/10 lead of the 41 of Sean Powell, and then about a second over the 83 of Travis Townsend. So Doug Lemons has got that machine on cruise control right now, and is just winding these laps down and hoping he makes it to the checkered.
Yeah, just winding him down at the moment, trying to see when this next cycle is going to come in. They're 22 laps now since the pit stop. Add a couple more because obviously they were under caution as well. So there's still a fair way to go in this stint. As Marshall Berry we're looking at, he is up into P number 8 at the moment with Sean M. Ryan, and you've got to think those two are both American Motorsports trucks, and they're actually making their way through this field, pardon me, to try and get something out of that, and they will have roughly the same setup as Brandon Holder as there is. Malik Ray is actually, as I say, that has just moved himself up into P number 4, so he is on a charge, Davis, and I think you're right. Maybe that truck is tuned for the long run because he's just put the 21 behind him. Now he's going to try and set his sights on the 2 in front. He's got a bit of a gap to make up 1.2 tenths of a second as these two actually try and have a little bit of a battle now as Townsend looks to the high side through 1. Can't get the job done there. He's going to try and get the momentum off the corner to try and thread the nose there on the outside. The 41 who shuts the door aggressively coming off at 2.
Look at that number 83 of Townsend all over the back bumper of 41. Gives him a pump draft going down the straightaway or the back stretch. Now they're in 3 and 4. Gonna see if the 83 is gonna make his move. He almost gets into that outside wall, has to get out of it really hard, and he's gonna lose a little bit of momentum. But as soon as they get side by side, the number 20 Malik Ray is just gonna be licking his chomps and ready to go because he's gonna be able to, I think he's gonna be able to cover this distance. There's about an 1/8 of a second gap between them. But if these drivers get side by side, like I said, look for that number 20 to be able to go right past him.
It's coming down as well. Having a look right now, it's 0.6 of a second between Malik Ray and Travis Townsend. So here comes that 20. He's found his sweet spot. It's roughly lap 22. We found it. It's a 20 lap onwards window, and that 20 truck comes alive. And now he's going to have to see what he can do to the 83, and it's coming down every time. 0.4 of a second through 3 and 4 this time around. So coming across the stripe will be roughly 0.4 across that window, and he gets that job done. So now Townsend and Sean Powell have sort of dropped away from each other, and now let's see what that 20 can do. His first target will be that 83 as Lemons just pushing it out to 0.9 of a second between those two, but still not enough to stretch as far away as I think you'd like. As Malik Ray now, Davis, all over the back of the 83 is within a truck length.
He got one heck of a run in 1 and 2, and in 3 and 4 he was able to get right to his back bumper. This is what we get for doubting that number 20 machine, making us eat our words. As that truck is, like you said, has really came alive right here in the late part of this run. I think he's going to be able to get right to the 83's bumper within a lap, and he's going to be able to go side by side, and he's going to be able to pull the position out. Now he's going to make the move right now. Gets on the quarter panel. That's number 83 of Townsend. Almost gets him loose and sends him into the wall, but he's able to save that machine, and he's able to keep it going straight. But that 20 is all over him like a vicious animal.
He's there, and he is charging hard right now. Is that 20 of Malik Ray, and he's going to move to the inside through 3 and 4 this time round, side by side. Coming off the corner, he's not clear, so he's going to have to try and fight another day through 1 and 2 as the 83 of Townsend. Is he going to roll out to try and let that 20 through? He sees that pace. We know Townsend races smart. He might do so. No, he's not. They're still going to be side by side. Uses all that track. And now Malik Ray in a 1 and 2 is going to use that extra bit of entry speed that he had like last time. Doesn't have a truck to stop him. Going to get that position done. And now that moves himself into P number 3. Is Townsend going to look to move to his inside? He sticks the nose out just a little bit, but not able to get the job done that I think he'd like. So now the 20 sets his sights on Sean Powell, and he could really close this gap down to Doug Lemons down in front, Davis, that none of these guys have been able to do. And I think it's just this window that the 20 has found that he's able to make this truck work.
He really has. Doug Lemons got to be looking in his rearview mirror and just crossing his fingers in hopes that number 20 machine doesn't get around the number 41. And right now we're starting to see some green flag pit stops. That's going to be Seghetti as he's going to go down pit road. So we're about to start seeing these drivers go down pit road and getting 4 fresh tires. If I was Doug Lemons, I'd go ahead and I'd pit as soon as that number 20 machine clears the 41, and he does right now. So look to see these leaders go down pit road at any second now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in terms of pit road. And as you say that, Doug Lemons, the leader, comes down onto pit road, nearly kisses the cone on entry, goes a long way close to it, as Malik Ray now inherits the lead with that pass on Sean Powell. But Lemons, the first one to blink, 29 laps in the run. Can he make it? I don't think you can make it 40 laps on the stint. I think this is too early. Everyone else is following him down, so maybe this is just the window and we're going to have a 10-lap shootout at the end. But it's an interesting one, isn't it, Davis? They've sort of come down, right, and that's the weirdest pin entry I have ever seen in this truck, and it's going to hurt him. I didn't think the truck would like that, and it hasn't, and it's going to hurt him a lot. He's now getting service. He wasted a good 5 seconds there, Davis, and that's going to take him out of contention.
It is, and we talk about that week in and week out as pit road, and it can have such a big impact on this race, and we're seeing it right now. That's going to cost Lemons multiple positions. His best hope is for these drivers out front to keep staying out, and so that Lemons can gain back some of the time he lost, because with each lap he's on fresher tires, he's going to be able to make more and more time up to these leaders. So I'd say, well, he's going to want to hope for these leaders to stay out another 3 or so laps. But that number 20, Malik Ray, like you said, he's got that lead when Lemons went down pit road. So Malik Ray, he's really put a lot of practice into this machine and really fine-tuned that setup, because he was able to make that thing come alive right at the end of that green flag run.
Yeah, definitely able to make it come alive. As Holder, Joyce, they're on pit road. They've done their service. They're going to come out now and see where they sort of funnel back into this field. Everyone else out in front. No one else really wanting to come down pit road. I think it was too early. Unless they know they can make 40 odd laps on this pit window, which I think that it'd be pretty close, Davis, to make 40 laps on a stint. So unless these guys are just trying to come down at the earliest point that they can to get the most out of that sort of a window. But we'll see what they do right now. Malik Ray, let's see if he's going to come down, if he's going to try and just split this one in half, which I think they might be doing, come down around lap 35 on the stint, which is in another couple of laps. So around lap 66 we'll see some guys coming down pit road, I think, from this leading battle, as everyone else has pretty much not come down pit road. So just the early guys have made their stops as lemons in this battle pack right now with Marshall Berry and William Toney. He's just decided to thread the needle and get both of them.
Yeah, and we see that number 70 of Doug Lemons. He was the first of the leaders to pit. I want to think that really wasn't a planned pit stop, but he's seen that 20 Malik Ray coming with such force that he had no choice but to pit to try to be able to get that short run speed and get out in front of him to have a chance of winning this race. But you see how important those fresh tires are, as he's able just to fly around this traffic in front of him.
He is absolutely flying around this racetrack at the moment. It goes to show how much these tyres, even though they're pretty much running wide open for most of the first part of the stint, as Bobby Everhart comes down pit road from P11 right now. Behind him, Sean Molstick as well. So a couple of other guys coming in, as Malik Ray has actually lost the lead. So could have been a little bit of trouble out there on the racetrack with some lap truck. I think it was the 22 of James Hickson, but he's going to fight straight back on the 41 of Sean Powell to his inside. Going to have a look back maybe later on and see what caused this one to bring Malik Ray back to him, because he had a couple of tenths on him. But right now, Sean Powell, sorry, on that high side, going to try and take away the lead across the stripe, and he does so. It was pretty close to that one. 33 hundredths of a second separated the two across the stripe, but Malik Ray fights back in 1 and 2. I'm going to take that position away, as Kingsbury's fallen a long way back as well, 2.3 seconds away from the leaders. I think Travis Townsend has decided to come down pit road.
And actually, it wasn't because of lap traffic with the number 20 Malik Ray. It was on lap 64 in turn 1 and 2. He was coming out of the exit of the corner and just almost lost it and sent that machine around.
Unlucky there from Malik Ray. So obviously running that truck on its limit to try and get anything he can to keep in front of Sean Powell at the moment, is Townsend on pit road, and he's about to come off right now. Let's see where he's going to actually funnel in compared to the 70 of Lemons. So Lemons right now is actually, there he is, bright green truck, goes straight past him. So he may have lost a little bit of time, but the laps that he's able to make up on fresh tyres has helped him as he gets close to the 22 of James Hickson coming off of turn number 2. Gets around him and off he goes into the sunset and tries to pull away and make this gap. And he's actually going to unlap himself right here. So let's see whether these guys see that 70 coming and try and peel off. The 41 does. Sean Powell decides it's time to come for some fresh tyres. And this is the window we were talking about, lap 66, Dave. As I said, that they will be trying to maybe separate this one, as well as Matt Kingsbury comes down onto pit road. 35, 36 laps on the stint. You have 33 odd laps to go in the race. I think that's the perfect time to come down pit road, and that's what these guys have done.
Yeah, they are, but I still would be worried for that number 70 of Doug Lemons. He was one of the first drivers to pit, so I'm not sure if he could make it. I'd like to think that he can make it to the rest of this race on this fuel stint, but still not so sure. But we see that number 20 of Malik Ray still out front, still hasn't decided to pit yet. Should be seeing him come in at any lap right now. Thought he might come down this lap, but no, he's not. He's going to continue to stay out there.
Well, the longer that Malik Ray stays out is actually good news for Doug Lemons, for us, so that we know that Doug Lemons is going to be able to make it as Sean Powell and Kingsbury work their way off pit road. Because if Malik Ray can get 40 odd laps out of this stint, or close to it, then we know Doug Lemons can get 40 odd laps out of that truck and make it to the end, as he works his way around the outside of Malik Ray coming down the backstretch. And that's just pressure tyres right there that's going to get that one done. There's Marlowe's on pit road as well. And a couple of other trucks heading their way, but Lemons gets around the 20 and he's got a good gap on everyone else. And I think Malik Ray come down and join Marlowe on pit road? Yes, he will. So that's going to be 38 laps. Oh, he locks him up. He's sideways and nearly into the inside wall goes Malik Ray. I think he made pit road speed, but a little bit under than what I think he wanted to, Davis. That could have been a momentous mistake. That could have been day done for Malik Ray there in the 20.
It could have, and I saw him coming in really hot, and he's got the oldest set of tires on that machine, so the tires are really old and really hot, and that's what just caused him to lose traction and almost just plowed it into that inside wall. And you're right, that'd have been day done, game over, say goodnight, and it would have been disastrous for that number 20 machine.
It could have been a lot worse for that 20 truck right there, Malik Ray, and he gets his pit service. And we'll see what he can do now as he comes out of pit road. He lights him up on exit. This time he's got a little bit more grip to play with. And where is Doug Lemons in comparison? He's gone. Doug Lemons is already on the exit of 1 and 2. That is a big lead that 70 truck has, and he is the first truck on fresh tyres. Behind him, the closest behind him is Sean Powell, and he is 5 or 4.8 seconds away from the race lead. So Sean Powell's got some work to do if he wants to catch Doug Lemons, and if Doug Lemons gets this one, or if he comes close to it, we've already had Sean Powell's already won a race this season, obviously. Malik Ray has as well, Everett Lane and Brandon Holder. Could be 5 out of 5 winners already in this season, and it's just looking to be that way. This season is just going to go strength and strength from last season, and now Lemons out in front. He's got a 4.7 second lead. He has to manage this now, Davis, because little errors, anything else can ultimately fall away and take this one away from him.
Yeah, it could have, and that just shows how stiff and how hard this competition is out here tonight. Different winners we've had. But yeah, Doug Lemons has got to be careful. He's got a really hold set of tires already compared to these other drivers that have just pitted. So we're going to have to see if he's able to maintain his pace and really utilize and save that tire wear, or if he's going to fall to the wayside here in the next 15 or so laps. But nonetheless, we're really in for a very interesting battle tonight.
Yeah, in for an interesting battle as the rest of the field still has to come down. Everett Lane out there at the moment. He's run 40 odd laps, so I wanted to see if a couple of trucks can run 40 odd laps on the tyres, and feel they've done so. So Doug Lemons will be safe. He can make it to the end of this one. So that sort of just reiterates that he's going to be good to go to the rest of this one. Lemons has sort of got a good sizable gap over Sean Powell, like we were saying it, but the gap is coming down, and coming down quite quickly. 3.4 seconds now separates Sean Powell and Doug Lemons, and that's for the race lead. Kingsbury is going to be next on this one as we're looking at Kingsbury just having a battle with the 58 of Ed Zaghetti. It looks like Ed's on the older tyres. He came down a couple of laps actually before Doug Lemons, so even that goes to show as Malik Ray looks to the inside of that 58 as well. So this shows that even on the fresher tyres, they're able to, even though they came down early, Davis, that's still that window of 5 or 10 odd laps that they had on as an advantage is now going to hinder them for the rest of this run.
Yeah, it really is. Just that number 20 machine of Malik Ray, he is just coming with a vengeance. I don't think he liked that entry to pit road very much, so he's got something to prove out here tonight. But man, he is coming right now. Still got the number 24 of Everett Lane out in the lead, so definitely Doug Lemons is definitely going to be able to make it on fuel. So I think that number 24 machine and the 16 to Keith Stewart, along with a few other of these drivers, they're just hoping for a caution right now. That way they can gain that track position and stay out front. I don't know if they're going to get it, because these drivers right now are pretty spread out, but we've seen how that worked earlier in the race too, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut on that one.
We may as well, because we don't want to do any more commentators curse out here tonight as going through 21 and the 20, having a good old battle on fresh rubber. They're trying to close down on Doug Lemons, but they may as well fight this one out as well, as Malik Ray has found something in that race truck that's just brought it alight at this present moment, and he's going to see if he can try and make a move to the inside. He's just a couple of truck lengths back to be able to do anything with it, but it looks like that truck wants to get to the inside, as I think the 21 at Kingsbury just kissed the fence off of turn 2. Just a little bit of a scrape. It'll be alright, it'll buff out. And now going on the inside of Brad Neer, going through 3 and 4, and I think you were right, these guys out in front, they're not flinching at all, they're staying out. I reckon they're going to try and see what they can do in terms of a caution out here. 25 laps to go though. The laps are winding down, Davis, and there's not much time for Sean Powell to close up. It's now 1.7 seconds between the 41 and the 70 out in front as we continue to have a look at that battle for P number 3 effectively on the racetrack.
And another thing to add to the story of tonight is that number 83 of Travis Townsend. He took that machine behind the wall. He's currently 4 laps down.
Yeah, 83 of Travis Townsend, day done for him. We may have to have a look. I'll have to have a look back and see what happened in terms of that. But the 24 on pit road, and he's going to try and get his service. So waited, couldn't get anything out of it, but he's going to have fresh rubber for the rest of his run. I think he's going to be a little bit too far back to be able to do anything with it. And yeah, it looks like an issue there in terms of a technical issue for Travis Townsend. So a good night again for Travis Townsend. He has the race pace to be able to do something with that racetrack each week now and just can't get it done. Can't seal the deal for the 83 as the 24 comes off pit road, and he's going to fall a long way back. Having a look, he's going to come out right now. He's 23rd. Aaron Ames is also on pit road. So he's going to go to 23rd on the racetrack, 41 seconds away from the race lead. Everett Lane might be able to make something happen in terms of sort of making up some positions, but I don't think he's going to close the gap to try and get to the top 10. Right now though, Lemons and Powell, it's on for the race lead at the moment, and right now Powell looking through 3 and 4 right now, and he's closed that gap to 3/10 of a second. It was 7/10 at the stripe, but right now it's 3/10 through 3 and 4. It's nearly 2/10 coming off the corner. Sean Powell is here to play Davis, and he looks like he's going to be able to get the job done on Doug Lemons just with the amount of pace, and all that is a handful. That's 7 laps fresher tyres, and that's all it can do for you. And as we say that,
we've got a caution out right now.
Oh, who is that brought out the caution? As it was Keith Stewart's just come down onto pit road. Having a look for it was Brad Neer again in the 9 truck. Let's see what happened this time with him. All on his own. That one, I've never seen a truck spin that aggressively. I think that was the 32 that nearly drilled him in the door. But through 3 and 4, it just lost the rear. That's a really weird one, Davis. It looks like it just slammed on the honkers and just stopped the truck. There's getting 2 Davises now in the broadcast booth. Have a look at Davis. Obviously having some issues there at the moment, but he will get them sorted out. But yeah, I'm unsure as that one. Even I think Hugo's the same with me on that one. I don't know what happened there with the night of Brad Neer, but he brought out our 3rd caution of the night, and we're going to have a look as everyone now behind the pace car, and let's see what's going to happen, because that was very close. We're getting collected with that 9 truck, but now back to live pitches, and these guys are going to get ready for another pit stop window, and I think everyone will come down it, and that sort of just helped the 70, because he was looking like that could have been the race lead done. Now he's going to get a fresh set of boots, and everyone else is going to follow him with him. Whether anyone else goes 2 tyres, 20 laps to go at the stripe. If someone does 2 tyres call, someone stays out, it's going to be making for an interesting race. To maybe see what they can do. Brendan Holder's made his way back up into a good little position there inside the top 10 as well. So Holder's made his way back up to the front. As we're going to look for everyone to come down on pit road and get their service. See Lemons good in the box this time. Malik Ray the same.
Yeah, and I think this is really going to hurt that number 20 machine of Malik Ray. He really had the truck to beat on that longer run. But with these drivers having those fresher tires, it's really going to help the 70 of Doug Lemons, like you said. And right now we got the battle off pit road, and that number 21 of Matt Kingsbury is going to beat Doug Lemons off of pit road.
Wow, good job from Kingsbury. As we have Davis Richards back in the commentary booth. Up there, a little bit of double Davis in the commentary booth. But now Kingsbury on pit road, and it's been all season long. He has been able to nail it, and once again he came on pit road 3rd, comes out 1st in front of Lemons and Powell, who I think have had a stronger truck in terms of that stint. Like the stint that they just had, Lemons was super quick, and then Kingsbury was, I think, the 2nd truck. I mean, Powell, sorry, was the 2nd truck. But Kingsbury to make that move and get himself up into that position is a good job for this restart, because he needs all the track position he can get to try and see if he can hold out these 2.
He is. He's going to have to get every single little thing out of that truck he can. And don't believe we've seen anyone stay out here. I'm not sure if the 24.
I'm sorry about that. I was just having a look, and Tony's actually stayed out. So he's on 14 old lap tires, but the man that might have actually pulled the masterstroke here, F Lane, he only came down 5 laps ago. But he was able to stay on the lead lap, obviously, because he is going to be restarting P number 2 there, Davis. So 2 trucks staying out, one of them on not so bad old tires.
And I was just about to say that. Number 24 truck, our Las Vegas winner. I had seen him pit really late in that run, and he had probably wanted that caution to come out just a little bit earlier before he pitted, but nonetheless, he's only going to have a few laps on those tires. It's going to be someone to watch here. If we get a caution, you know, within the next, I'd say 10 or so laps, I believe we're going to see everyone go down pit road again, and that's really going to help him out. But hey, maybe he can hold off these drivers up here behind him and sneak a victory in and wind himself out in victory lane.
He might be able to do something sneaky to get another win this season. He's already locked himself into the chase after his win at Las Vegas. And now let's see what he can do here at Auto Club. The lights are still on that pace car, but I think they're going to actually go off pretty soon. So when they come through 3 and 4 for the next time by, so we'll see what happens there. Whether Tony does come down pit road, he's on the older tires, 15 laps old tires there. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a hard one on this restart, Davis, because the guys behind, fresh tires, 15 odd lap old tires. We've seen how much the 7 laps can get you in terms of Sean Powell and Doug Lemons, but when you add 15 laps into the mix, I think that could be a little bit dangerous on this restart, especially on that inside row for this coming restart.
Yeah, and I don't believe that 87, I don't believe these trucks have enough wheel spin and enough power like you'd see in the Xfinity or the Cup Series. But with that 87, I don't believe we're going to see a big checkup on the field. But we might see a bit of an incident or a bit of a battle here for this lead, and it might check up the field on this restart.
Yeah, it might just check them up just a little bit. We'll have to see how it's going to play out because the lights are out on the pace car. Hopefully, the final restart of the night with under 20 laps to go. They're going to restart with 17 laps in the books to finish this one off. Tony and F Lane going to be starting off of row number 1 with Kingsbury and Lemons on the fresh rubber on row 2, row 3. Powell, Holder, Malik Gray, Christian Joyce with Berry and Zaghetti rounding out the top 10. And it's all going to come down to this one. And who's your pick, Davis, to maybe get this one done in the end?
Oh, you're not putting me on that one. I'm definitely not picking a driver as we've seen earlier in the race. So definitely not going to go down that lane. As Randy, he always makes me pick one, and every single time I do, it always ends up bad, and that's how we got the hashtag blame Randy, I think, or I'm pretty sure it came from another story, but hey, that's another time, another place. But we're about to go green here tonight for this restart.
Yeah, about to go green as that pace car about to peel off left and get this one under green flag condition. William Tony in control, and he's already gone. He didn't wait for that green flag, and he is away and restart under here under the lights for the California 200 for the Espeed Contender Series for the final time. Hopefully we don't see another caution with 17 laps to go. It's Kingsbury to the inside of Everett F Lane already. We're going to see if he can try and make that job done. He does, and that's going to be a good little gap. The 21's going to be able to pull on everyone else behind because the fresh tyre guys are stuck as Malik Gray. Big move to the inside on Sean Powell to try and get that one done. The truck got a little loose, but he's got his nose there. Now to the inside is Kingsbury, still fighting for that race lead, and he's going to get it done as Tony looks like he's going to get swamped by the back.
And you see that number 21 of Kingsbury just plows through those front drivers. They're let out. Now they're 3 wide coming across the line as this drivers on older tires are just holding back this pack. That 41 is all over the 24's back bumper. He wants to get him around him. He can't. Now you see that 24 goes the inside lane, cuts off the number 20 of Malik Ray. And behind him, we've got 3 wide. That's the 70 of Doug Lemons, the 5 of Brandon Holder. Where did he come from? And the 20 of Malik Ray is just stuck in the middle. He's saying, hey, get me out of here. I don't want no part of this.
No part does Malik Gray want. He wants to try and get out of that one. He's going to actually get the job done as Lemons on the high side moves his way down to the inside. They're trying to clear that 24 truck who was fighting on that older tyres, and Kingsbury's loving this at the moment. He can see all this action behind him, 3-4 wide going on. And before Malik Ray nearly put the 5 in the dirt, and as I said, that holder was in the dirt. 3 wide behind them as well. Looks like Marshall Berry, Zagetti, and Sean M. Ryan behind them as the 70 gets clear of the 24 through 1 and 2 behind them. Brandon Holder as well. Now going to have a look on that 24 truck to see if he can make moves, but Kingsbury, he's got roughly 0.4 of a second over Powell Davis, and now Powell and Lemons, they have it all to do to try and close that gap to the leader.
And those drivers behind him were 3 wide for an entire lap. The battle to watch right now is between those top 4 drivers. Matt Kingsbury has got off to about a half a second lead. Second is 41 is Sean Powell, and then third is Doug Lemons and Brandon Horner. Talked about him earlier tonight. Got a little loose coming off the corner and lost it, but he's battled his way back up. The 20 Malik Ray finally gets around the 24 of Everett F. Lane. Everett Lane, he held his own for having older tires, but he definitely held this field up. But Malik Ray and that number 20 machine has a lot of work to do if he wants to get back up front. But now we've got a battle for the lead. That's going to be the number 41 of Sean Powell going around the 21 of Matt Kingsbury on that bottom side. That 21 just got a little tight right there. See him push up into the corner. He's going to lose 3 position. He went from the lead to sitting in 4th position right now. But now we've got the 41 of Sean Powell. He's going to take over that P1 position. And Doug Lemons has his eyes set. But watch out, that 5 of Brandon Holder. He has a fast truck. And I think he's got what it takes here to get up front and grab that lead.
I was about to say the same thing. The 5 of Brandon Holder, he is here. He is ready to play and see what he can do out in front. He's got his other American Motorsports guys fighting their way through the field. It goes to show they had a truck here tonight to try and battle this one out. Lemons and Powell, the 2 out in front, the 41 and the 70. Powell right now holding down P number 1. Lemons has had that truck to be able to do something with it tonight. He's able to stretch his legs when he needs to. He's got 12 laps to do it. 12 laps to try and seal the deal. And as I say that, there is a caution out on the racetrack. And this one's a truck on the inside. That's Aaron Ames in the 3. We did just see him come off of pit road a couple of laps ago. I'm going to have a look at that one. Oh, okay. Got loose coming off of turn number 4. And you got a little bit of contact actually from the 31 of Ryan Lang on that high side. And then that just sent Lang into the fence. The 3 came down to the 16 of Keith Stewart. His night goes from bad to worse and sends the 3 for a spin to the end.
Very unfortunate right there for those drivers. Talked about the 3 before too. He's a very fast driver, but sometimes can get a little aggressive. But I want to tell you what caution this helps the driver out that most, and it's going to be the number 24 of Everett F. Lane. He went back to about the 7th position, but that's still better than he was earlier on in the races. But I think he's going to be able to go in and get 4 fresh tires and see if he has a truck that can compete up here. I don't think he can win this race, but I think he can definitely salvage a good top 10, maybe even a top 5 finish tonight.
Yeah, he might be able to salvage something from this one, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play down pit road because Welcome back to the Espeed Contender Series here from Auto Club in California for the California 200 presented by Adams Polishers. I'll get it right now that I've actually had a closer look at the logo. And we're going to be winding down the laps here. Going to get a final restart, hopefully of the night. Should be the final restart with 8 laps to go, or roughly around there. Myself, Jay Blackall, Davis Richards in the commentary booth with Hugo Louise working the cameras as always all night long here today. And now we're winding it down. We thought they'd come down to pit road just before we went on break there, Davis, but none of them did. They all just sort of guessed everyone and myself out, because I thought for sure some of them were going to come down pit road, but none of them did. So they're going to be restarting with old tyres on what has been a very quick racetrack tonight, Davis, and these two out in front, they've been holding it down, but they've got a couple more company out there on the racetrack, and they don't have to get around any guys on old tyres because they're all on them themselves.
Yeah, I was really thinking we were going to see these drivers go down, and I thought we were going to see some of the drivers take 2 at the back of the pack, but we didn't see it, so it's going to definitely make it interesting. But the man to watch right now, sitting in that 3rd position, that's the number 5 of Brandon Holder. He's got the truck that can get up there. He's went up and down this field all night long. Now he's up here, gonna have about 6 to 7 laps to go on this restart. You think he has what it takes to get the job done?
I think he does, but it's hard to hold it. Lemons has had a quick truck. Power's had a quick truck. Obviously Kingsbury, Ray, we've spoken about them all night long. It's as the lights are out in the pace car, we're gonna double them up. It's one of those situations where Holder has his own up there. He can get it done. I know he can get it done. It's just, can he keep the truck underneath him? We've already seen him lose it as soon as he got to the front. Just pushing that truck that little bit more, and that's the issue. You push the truck a little bit more and you find out where its limits are. And he found it earlier on. Whether he's dialed it back a little bit, we'll see on this restart. Just having a look through the field at people who did come down pit road. Christian Joyce, he's going to be restarting in 19th, so he is on the fresh rubber. If you see a 36 truck flying through the field, you know why, because he's on fresh tyres. Him with Sean Mulsick as well in the 15, Doc Stout, Tyler Hayes, Brent Keith, they're all on fresh tyres. If they start flying through the field in 7 odd laps, you know why. So be careful and be wary if you see those two flying through the field. But out in front, Powell, Lemons, it's going to be restarting their way. They finished before that yellow came out. Holder at Kingsbury on row 2 with Malik Ray and Barry on row 3. As he comes for the final restart of tonight here in California. The pace car is going to go left and let Sean Powell in control of this one, and he is gone away straight away, and that's going to bring the green flag out in the air in the final restart of tonight here for the Espeed Contender Series. And Davis, Malik Ray is already trying to force the issue 3 wide.
He was very fortunate that 5 and Brandon Holder went up a lane to let him there. I couldn't say I wouldn't do the same, but they're 3 wide right now. See some beating and banging. That's going to hurt the number 20 of Doug Lemons. That number 5 gets into the side of him. The 20 goes up towards the wall, keeps it off the wall, but now he's got to deal with the Everett F lane. That number 24 truck, he's going to lose 3, 4, 5 positions right now, and that's going to really hurt him. But right now we see that number 21 of Kingsbury looking at the inside of the 5 of Brandon Holder, and right now Malik Ray and that number 20 truck's just look at his chops at that 41, but he's going to have some really fast trucks behind him to deal with here in a few short seconds.
He's trying to do what he can at the moment. Power out in front with a couple of truck lengths over Malik Ray, fighting to hold off the 2 behind Brandon Holder in the 21 of Matt Kingsbury. Now side by side in the 1, Kingsbury to the inside of Malik Ray. This is for P number 2 now. Out the racetrack, there's a big bottleneck in the back of the pack. That's Doug Lemons. His day's gone from bad to worse. He was having such a good run, and now he's fallen to outside the top 10. As we still watch this battle for P number 2 as they coming into 3 and 4, and Kingsbury's going to get the job done. Holder's going to push himself to P number 3 and get that one up there, but Doug Lemons has gone. He was up there, and then that little bit of a bobble. There was multiple trucks around him. He lost all the momentum, and he is dropping a long way back. He's dropped to P number 16 on the racetrack. That's poor from Doug Lemons in the 70, Davis.
It is, and that all started with the 20 of Malik Ray making it 3 wide underneath the 5 of Brandon Holder. Sent the 5 of Brandon Holder in the middle and made slight contact with him, and his day and that number 70 Machinist just went from bad to worse. But now these trucks up front, single file, and they've organized themselves. That 21 of Matt Kingsbury is going to sit his sights on that 41 of Sean Powell. Seen some contact with him earlier under caution, so you're going to have to see if that 21 has enough speed. He's got about a half a second difference between the two. I'm looking at the times right now. Sean Powell ran a 40.289. The 21 of Kingsbury ran a 40.327. So at this rate right here, Powell is just going to be able to put this thing on cruise control. But this is going to be the first clean lap the 21 is going to not have to worry about traffic.
Yeah, first clean lap, and let's see what the 21 and everyone else behind can do about Sean Powell. At the moment, it's 6/10, just under 6/10 of a second, the gap between first and second. And I think the laps are winding down. They're going to be 3 to go when they cross the stripe. Kingsbury, I don't think has anything for him. Brandon Holder in P number 3. Malik Ray now trying to hold off Sean M. Ryan, who has put a charge in late in that American Motorsport trucks. He's looking to the inside of the 20, going through the trial. Well, can't do anything about it. Now he's going to see if he can have a look going down to the 1 and 2, but Malik Ray covers that position off. They're going to have to hold on for another lap. Out to over 6/10 of a second, this race lead. Don't think he has anything for it as this battle. There's a big battle going on further back in the pack, though. This is just outside of the top 10, and it's Christian Joyce in the caution out the racetrack. That is day done.
It is. Caution is out right now.
Multiple trucks involved in that one, trying to see where it will off from. Abe Bowden in the 74. That's a big incident, whether that truck just snapped on him, but that went from looking fine to, yep, it's just snapped. He's tried to save it, and then it shot the truck straight up hard. He's got, I think it was Tyler Hayes or Ryan Lang, one of the two that he collected on the way through. Big incident there for those guys coming off of turn number 2 that time round.
Yeah, it looked like that number 74 almost looked like he blew a tire right there, and it just sent him straight into the wall. But you're right, that is going to end it. Checkered flag. Well, not checkered flag yet. They still got another lap to go under caution, but this race will end under caution with the 41 of Sean Powell taking the victory.
Sean Powell, and one of the trucks that I think was going to end up in victory lane, himself or Doug Lemons. So still got a lap to go under pacing as multiple truck. I think Keith Stewart got involved in that one. So that on the replay. So big incident, big junk off of turn number 2. But the 41 of Sean Powell is going to come off of turn number 4 with 1 lap to go. White flag in the air, and now let's see what he can do. Just in terms of the rest of the season, he's our first repeat winner now, which I wasn't expecting. There was a lot of guys out there that could have taken their first win of the season as last lap white flag in the starter's hand with that checkers, with the yellow, sorry. And, it just was a dominant performance. Himself and Doug Lemons were both up there, but he was sort of just on the back burners a little bit, Davis. He wasn't leading all the laps, but he was definitely there for the whole race.
Yeah, and a tough break for Doug Lemons too. He's going to come out of tonight with that 12th place finish. He really had a strong truck out there. Played a majority of the laps, but with the 41 of Sean Powell, I just go back to that second caution when he had made contact with the 21 under caution, and I really thought that damage was going to affect him, but obviously not, as he pulled out the victory here tonight at Auto Club.
Yeah, pulled it away. The damage didn't hurt either of those two because they finished first and second. So at the end of the day, that little bump that they gave each other on the caution didn't affect those two trucks at all, and they were able to get that one done and hold up. Coming away with P3 out of nowhere, I don't know, but he started last, worked his way all the way up. As soon as he got to the front, he spins and decides, I want to do it all over again, and then does it all over again and comes in P number 3. Drive of the day, definitely for Brandon Holder. But coming off of turn number 4, the first repeat winner of this season, and going to make it 2 at the moment for Sean Powell. Going to move himself even closer to just making sure, with the way this championship is going, he's safe for the chase. The 41 of Sean Powell going to come across under pace here tonight to win the California 200 here, presented by Adams Polishers in the Espeed Contender Series, the first repeat winner of the championship.
Wow, Wow, just what an awesome race there we've seen a lot of battles. These drivers, they brought it with full intensity tonight, and I hope the fans enjoyed it because y'all saw a show, and you can get this week in and week out in this series because these drivers know how to race, and they're one of the most competitive in iRacing.
Yeah, this series is just going from strength to strength, and as the fireworks get set off here at California Speedway, as Kingsbury is now rolling through, it was just one of those races. We knew it was going to be fast and electric here, especially underneath the lights. 65-degree Fahrenheit track temp, though, that does add a little bit more spice to the syrup. And now let's see how much he's going to burn down these tyres, because to take that second win, I think Sean Powell's going to be a little bit happy with that one as he comes through 3 or 4. Such a long lap when they're not going full speed, and it's going to be one of those ones that I think Sean Powell is going to enjoy as he comes up to the stripe to burn them down. But while Sean Powell gets up to this start line to start burning them down here at Auto Club California, we're going to run through our final results here for the California 200 for the Espeed Contender Series. Sean Powell does burn them down, coming away with the victory, second of the season. Kingsbury coming home in P number 2. Brandon Holder in third, with Malik Ray coming off P number 4 tonight, which could have been a lot more up near that front towards the end, but just wasn't able to get the job done. Sean Ryan rounding out the top 5 for American Motorsports. Tim Marlowe, Marshall Berry in P7. Ed Zaghetti in P number 8 with Bobby Everhart and Perry Snelson rounding out the top 10. Good drive from those two to find themselves there. James Torrey and Doug Lemons on the outside, and Lemons what it could have been for that 70 truck if it wasn't for that final restart. Coming home in P number 12. Everett F. Lane in 13th. Christian Joyce 14. Sean Mulsick rounding out the top 15 with Doc Stout, Jason Perry, Brent Keith, Doyle Lawrence, and Timothy McQueen rounding out the top 20. William Toney coming home in 21st with Ryan Lang 22nd. Brad Patterson 23rd with Keith Stewart. A poor night after starting 4th, ends up P number 24, the last on the lead lap. Paul Bliss 1 lap down with Tyler Hayes, Aaron Ames, Brad Neer, Abe Bowden, James Hickson, Jason Seisler with some issues as well down there, 15 laps down. Travis Townsend with some technical issues that threw himself out of this one that could have been another win from the pole. And Timmy Logwood Jr. rounding out top 33. Well, we're going to go catch a short little break before we bring you post-race coverage here from the California 200, or post-race interviews with the top 5. And we'll be shortly back after this one here for the Espeed Contender Series.
Chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Welcome back to post-race coverage here for the Espeed Contender Series here for the California 200 presented by Adams Polishers, and we're going to be stood by with our race winner straight away. No sponsor presentation tonight as everyone's decided to just leave tonight, which is just the usual. So tonight I'm going to be stood by with Sean Powell, and Sean, coming away with that win. You're the first repeat winner of the championship, so congratulations on that one. But that was a tough one. That looks like some hard racing out there. Tell us about your night.
Man, it was tough. And like you said, my the truck was probably top 3-ish all night. Doug Lemons and Malik Ray, they had a car to beat, or the truck to beat. And things worked out my way this race. So, sometimes you dominate, sometimes you just look into them and whatnot. And so I guess tonight was my lucky night.
Tonight definitely was your lucky night, because there was a lot of guys out there that had a good track, and at one stage there was 8 of yous within a couple of seconds that were all fighting for that race lead. And tell us about how that intense that race was. We've seen some intense races in this championship in terms of, and especially this season, there's so many of you guys, especially yourself coming in as a rookie, that's can actually just do what they can do and challenge these guys out in front. But how intense was that one? That pace on that track was so electric that you guys were fighting tooth and nail. Was that what it felt like? One of the hardest ones out there to race?
Yeah, it was, because there was no time to be gained that much. Just maybe like hundreds, not no tenths, hundreds of a second. And it just, just got to knock it down every 100 you can, man. That's all you can do out there, especially when it's like Grip City and like that. You just got to.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. The grip was just intense. And Lemons and that, I don't know whether you noticed, was he your biggest contender on that last restart to maybe get that one done? Obviously, Lemons had issues on that last restart, but he was with you pretty much the entire race. Did you think he was the one that may be able to challenge at the end?
I knew after the caution flew around like 10, 12 to go, whatnot. I knew by when I got the lead and passing, when Matt got loose and I passed Matt, I knew if Doug Lemons was on the outside, I could, maybe get a jump. And I knew if I can do that and some guys get around of him, that, maybe to hold him up. I don't know what happened to Doug, though. It looks like he finished 12th or something, so I don't know what happened to him. But
yeah, it went from bad to worse in the last restart. 3 wide behind you that just sort of let, obviously, Malik Ray and Brendan Holder, he got shoved out to the outside in 1 or 2 and then shuffled back. So,
yep.
Bit of a poor night from that.
Yeah. What I was interested about was the pit strategy when, everybody with Lemons pitting on lap 60, me on 67, Malik on 70. I was kind of interested to see how that was going to play out, but we didn't get to see it.
I think we all were, especially us. I wanted to see how that was all going to play out. I think you had a truck there when you caught him at the end. But congratulations, Sean. 2nd win of the season. Any shout-outs, anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Scotty, man. For Scotty, I want to have a decent truck tonight. I want to thank iTake. I want to thank I'll probably forget someone. I want to thank y'all for broadcasting. I forgot to tell y'all that last week. I do a good job up here, and I want to thank Stuart for the league.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, Sean, and congratulations again on coming home with the victory tonight here at California Speedway.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you, and that was our race winner, Sean Powell, coming home with the 2nd win of the season. And now I'm going to chuck it to Davis, who's going to be stood by with our 2nd place finisher, and that is going to be Matt Kingsbury.
Hey, Matt Kingsbury, it's Davis Richards up here in the RaceSpotTV booth. Man, we've seen a lot of speed out of that machine, lap after lap after lap. We're in contention there for the win. Do you think if that thing would have stayed green, you would think you would have had some extra momentum to go out there and grab that win, or were you just worried about that, holding back that number 5 of Brandon Holder?
Heat cycles, the tires are they're off for me. But I messed it up in the first place when I got loose, and I forgot to take an adjustment out. So it was all my own doing there, but Sean deserved the win. He was really fast all race.
Going back to that 2nd caution, we've seen an unfortunate contact between you and the 41. Did that affect your truck in any way throughout the night?
I have no idea, because I was running low damage model tonight because of various computer issues I've been having. But I didn't see any damage on the replay, so I think we're all good.
There was a slight dent on your tailgate, but it definitely didn't look like it affected you or the 41 machine. And you talk about the different adjustments in the car and making them on pit road. How much do you lean on that through a race being open setup?
Normally I wouldn't, but I went safe with my setup because I was really loose in practice and didn't have a lot of track time because of the computer issues. So I tried to compensate for some. Got it to where I liked it on a long run. I liked it better, but unfortunately I just forgot to take it out for the short run and a little too loose once the track cooled down.
All right. Well, you really showed those guys out there that you're going to be a battle for the win week in and week out. Showed a lot of, if I can get the words out right now, a lot of speed out of that machine. But before we let you go, you got anyone out there you want to thank?
I just got to thank my teammates at CGR. We work hard, and I think last week we should have probably had a truck to win it and couldn't. So I just hope we can pay them back and get one in victory lane.
Well, congratulations again on your second place finish, and we'll be rooting for you out there next week. And that right there was the number 21 of Matt Kingsbury. But up next, we're going to have the driver of the number 5 machine of Brandon Holder. And this one's going to be really interesting to talk to as we seen him battle through the field every single lap of that race.
Yeah, I'm going to be stood by with Brandon Holder in that number 5 truck. And Brandon, what a night. You know how to make it interesting for yourself, don't you? Started in the rear of the field, finally work your way to the front, then decide I'm just going to have a little spin and the most amazing save coming off of turn number 4, and then do it all over again.
Well, it wasn't how I planned it, bud, I promise you.
It definitely didn't look like it, but tell us about your truck, because that truck looked super quick all night. Even when you got to the front, you started to make that move on that quick restart. And then obviously the issue, but that truck looked mighty quick all night.
Yeah, man, the truck was great. I was out of pocket this week, and Sean and Timmy built an amazing set. Didn't get to qualify Monday. I think if we could have started up front, we could have contended a little more, but it was a great, great set.
Yeah, it looked like you guys all had it in the end, and I didn't even realize when I saw that Barry and Ryan, they were sort of floating around that top 10, but they just sort of come alive at the end, so they've done a good job with the setup. And you guys, again, always bring them that setup, but qualifying is not going your way. Are you guys blowing motors again, like we saw a couple of seasons ago with a couple of guys? Is there something with the qualifying that's not going the way? Because you 32nd, Ryan 30th, Barry 27th. It's weird to see all that pace coming in the race, which you know you guys have, but qualifying, it's just not hitting. Is there something that you guys are falling away with there?
No, it's more fun to pass cars, man.
I knew that would be the answer, but I was hoping it wasn't. I was hoping there was some little issue, but yeah, it is. I kind of got to agree with that. It is always fun passing cars, but congratulations, Brandon. It's close to getting another one tonight, but the troubles you went through to see you in the top 5 is an absolutely amazing effort. Definitely my drive of the night. Any shout outs to anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank Sim Racing Apps for the support this year, pitboxes.com, and Barry Family Racing. Also, I want to say shout out to my mom that watches the races every week, and I believe my son Peyton's watching it this week, so I want to say hi to him, and thanks everybody for watching on YouTube, and RaceSpot, y'all do a great job.
Thank you, Brandon, and hopefully you can have another good run next week, and hopefully not spin off of turn 4.
I hope not.
That was Brandon Holder in the number 5 coming home with P number 3. We don't have a Malik Ray that I seem to see. No, Malik's down there, obviously having a chat about something down there, so we'll let him be for the moment, but we'll stand by. Oh, nah, here he is, he's back. So we'll chuck Malik Ray overs with Davis Richards here, who'll be standing by with him.
Hey, Malik. Or is it Malik or Malik? Let's get that one out of the water.
Malik.
Okay, so, all right, well, there we go. Got that one out there. So, man, awesome drive out there tonight. Man, we were talking about you at the first of those runs, and you really didn't have a lot of speed. And me and Jake were up here talking. I was like, man, it's just got to make some adjustments on pit road. But sure enough, as soon as we got to that long run after that second caution, you just started eating them up left and right. And I think that caution, when it came out there, with about 10 laps to go, you'd have definitely been in contention and probably would have pulled out the checkered flag. Man, just take us through those laps.
My set was very, 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 very slow, as you saw for like the first like 20 laps. Like I think Sean and then would pull like 2.5 seconds on me, and then I would have to spend the next 20 laps trying to make up that. But it wasn't that bad on that long green flag run. I was catching them. I was catching them and the leader 2 or 3 tenths a lap. But it just took me so long to finally get going.
Yeah, we definitely had a long run car out there, and on that last caution, on that last restart, we saw, man, we seen you make some really aggressive moves, and it was really fun watching you out there making it 3 wide and making it stick too. Man, just how was that car handling for you there at the first of that run?
It was good. I knew that I was fine for the first like 2 or 3 laps after a restart, and then it's like as soon as I hit lap 3, it was just like they just started pulling me like a tenth a lap. So I just tried to make up what I could on the first corner of the restart, and then I tried to hang on to it, but I couldn't do it.
Well, not having the setup that you wanted to have in that machine, still coming away with a top 5 finish. So impressive nonetheless. Really thought you were going to be able to pull out that victory, but awesome run. But before I let you go, you got anyone out there you want to thank?
The series and you guys for broadcasting, I really appreciate it.
Hey, well, we appreciate you too, but we'll be rooting for you next week out there. Can't wait to see you back on the track.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Well, Malik Ray goes away after Davis there. We're going to stand by now with Sean and Ryan in that 04 truck. You have to change your name in TeamSpeak now, Sean, with the 29 there. But, Sean, a run that I wasn't expecting from you guys, but like Brandon said, you guys all like to run through the back, and you guys definitely did so again tonight.
Oh yeah, that was fun coming from the back, but I just want to go ahead and throw it out there. I apologize to Brad Neer for getting into him. I hit him up after the race there, and yeah, I don't know what lap that was, but I had such a run going into the corner and so much momentum, I just couldn't get it wheeled up fast enough. So apologies to him. I think I probably ruined his night.
Yeah, we noticed that with a couple of guys. That wasn't actually the first. I think yours was the second caution where that incident actually happened. It was pretty much a spitting image of the first one with Paul Bliss. So I think it was just that head of momentum and how people entered turn 1. Did you notice that as well? Obviously, you accidentally got into Brad Neer, obviously, like you said. It wasn't intentional at all. It didn't look intentional. But is that the way that you guys, obviously different people running into turn 1, was that how it felt to you? Because obviously charging through the field, you would have noticed it a lot with the way that those guys were entering turn 1.
Yeah, I think everyone takes turn 1 a lot different, and it's really based on the setups. Like ours was. It was built around, like going in high, coming in low, and just getting on throttle before anybody else. And yeah, so it's all based on setup and driver preference. But everyone had a different entry tonight.
Yeah, definitely, everyone had a different entry. In all the corners, the grip level out there was crazy. And was that something as well? A couple of guys have mentioned it, how grippy that track was. But with you guys charging through the field, did the grip really help you guys actually make those moves in terms of getting that speed around the guys that you knew you had the pace on, just trying to get around them? Because with the grip level being that high, there would have been a lot more track that you guys could have used to make those positions work. We saw Brandon Holder go around the outside of a couple of guys. Was that sort of what you guys found was your main benefit tonight?
There was grip out there? Yeah.
It looked like it.
Yeah, no, yeah, we had these things set up pretty loose and set up to come in later in the run. So we started out a little bit loose so we can rotate through the corners a little better, be a little better on the bottom. And then towards the end of the run, it would tighten up for us. So I didn't see much grip out there.
Looked like it on our screen. Everyone looked like they had an awful lot of grip, but maybe not. Maybe it was a little bit loose. But congratulations, though, Sean. Good drive from all of you guys, American Motorsports. Unfortunate for whatever happened to Timmy Logwood Jr. Obviously, I saw him have damage on the truck, so obviously an incident down the back that I didn't see. But congratulations from us on your 5th place finish here tonight. Any shouts, anyone I'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Sim Racing Apps, pitboxes.com, and the Berry Family Racing for helping us put these trucks out there. And definitely thanks to the rest of the team on American Motorsports for all the help that they put into these.
Congratulations again, Sean, and hopefully you can have another strong one from the back. By the sounds of it, it's going to be every week.
Let's start up front next time.
I like the sound of that. See, there's some thinking, Brandon. Listen to your teammates. Congratulations again, and hopefully have a good one next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. And that was Sean and Ryan, our final interviewee of today. And Davis, final words from you. That was a cracking race, and it just shows the competitive that this series has, and it's going to only go up from here.
It really is. These drivers were fighting tooth and nail all night long. We've seen a lot of 3 wide, even 4 wide at sometimes action out there tonight. And man, I just can't get over it. Fans really saw one great race, and they can expect that week in and week out. And I'd like to thank RaceSpot for letting me on board, and all the sponsors here in the Espeed Contender Series. I'm really glad to be able to come out here in the booth with you, and hope to see you within the next coming weeks or so.
Yeah, hopefully if either Randy or us are in, you'll happily have you back in the commentary booth tonight. But that is it here from the Espeed Contender Series here on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live. Join us for the next one. There's plenty of action over the weekend. We've got the Neo Endurance Series, the 24 hours of Le Mans. I think I've got that one right. Hugo will most probably not like me if I didn't. But that's going to be a big one this weekend. And be sure to catch all the action here on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live. And second win here from Sean Powell for the California 200, presented by Adams Polishers for the Espeed Contender Series. Hopefully we can see you next week. Goodbye.